more than excited about today's interview because I get to talk to Bobbi Brink of Lions, Tigers, and Bears. It's just outside of Alpine, and it is a big cat rescue that is on 93 acres. And of course, we're all going wild over watching Tiger King, but there's someone who can give us a lot of perspective and give us good insight into this show, the realities of big cats, and that is Bobbi. And Bobbi, have you watched the show? What did you think?
I've watched the show and I've known Joe for many years, and what you're watching, it's the truth, and it's the sad truth. The animals are the victims, and I wish that the show showed that a little bit more, the truth of how many animals are used and abused and dumped and disappear. And that's the one thing I wish is the show didn't bring that across, the abuse that the animals are under.
And you have 60 rescues and 19 species. You've been doing this since, 2002? Tell me about your journey of getting involved in rescuing these animals.
I started working with it in 90 in Texas is where I discovered the exotic animal trade. And then I started Lions, Tigers, and Bears here in Alpine in San Diego County, 2003. So every day working with the animals, trying to be their voice and make a better life for them.
Can you kind of dive into exactly why this trade is dangerous, why it's bad for the animals, and what it actually takes to take care of a big cat or a bear?
Right, well, these are top of the line apex predators. I mean, the animals kill you in a hot second if they want to. They're dangerous animals. This does have to be right. There has to be a lot of safety rules, a lot of safety equipment, and so many roadside zoos where it's crazy, and just like you're seeing in Tiger King, and things aren't properly done. So it's hard. We have to have a whole team here. These are not easy animals to take care of. They're expensive. They have high needs. And, a lot of times, like, we pick up animals, they've never even seen a vet, and they need a lot of dental work or medical work. It just depends on the animals, but one day at a time and one animal at a time.
About how much does it cost to take care of a big cat?
Easily $10,000 to $15,000 a year for food for one animal, at least. And that's just your base. Then on top of that, you've got your habitats and insurance and medical care, dental care, medicines, enrichment. Aren't easy animals to take care of. They have a lot of needs, and it's got to be done safe. We work in twos, and they've got to be fed properly, proper nutrition, proper medical care, and not an easy task to do right.
I can
probably see Nola playing in the pool.
I do. I can see him in the pool. Oh my goodness. That's another thing people don't realize. White tigers do not exist naturally in the wild. They are inbred.
I call it a product of people. So they're inbred in captivity to get a white tiger. So it's so sad. A lot of them have a lot of bone deformities and pain, and most all of them have cross-eyed. So next time you're here and you get to look at Nola or one of our white tigers, you can look up close and see some of these things.
What kind of advocacy and legislation have you been involved with, especially in trying to limit?
Right now we're working on what's called the years we've been working on the Big Cat and Public Safety Act. So hopefully we can get that through. That would stop the unnecessary public touching, breeding, and the roadside animals per se. There's no federal tracking of these animals. There's nobody who knows even how many there are. They're so overbred. A lot of these roadside zoos, they have to continuously breed babies to keep their businesses open. And so the old animals, or the older animals, once they can't be touched and handled by the public, they go out the back door. They disappear. So you don't know if they're going to another roadside zoo, they're being put down, they're moving on to a canned hunt ranch, or exactly, we don't know where they're going.
How has COVID-19 impacted your rescue? Because you get a lot of donations by people being able to come out and see the animals. And right now, that's not possible.
This is really hard for us right now because it's completely cut off a lot of our income. And we've had to lay off quite a few of our staff. So we're kind of working at the bare bones. But we're doing a couple things. We've actually launched what we're calling our Hang In There $20 challenge. So we're asking people to donate $20 or more, and it's a peer-to-peer fundraising. So you can you can form your own fundraiser asking for $20 from your friends to help raise money for lions, tigers, and bears. And then we're actually doing live on Facebook at 10:30 Wednesday through Saturday, and Instagram at noon Wednesday through Saturday, virtual visits. So we take you to the habitat and introduce you to one animal, just like if you were here on a visit. Really good for if you have kids at home, or you're at home because you can't work and you're bored. At least we can bring the animals.
Another thing people are curious about is your rescue itself. It is massive. It is 93 acres, and you just expanded a lot of the enclosures because previously these animals were abused and they went through so much, but this is a place that they can live out the rest of their lives, basically.
That's exactly what a sanctuary is, a place where these rescued animals can live out the rest of their life with dignity. So when a true sanctuary won't buy, breed, sell, or trade animals, I always look for the accredited sanctuaries, do your homework, and know your animal. Know how that animal got there, why it's there, make sure it's going to live out its life there, know when it dies. Super important, super important.
Kind of going back to the show Tiger King, it focuses on one rescue and then two zoos, if you will. What did you think getting a peek into those different environments from your perspective?
I've known Joe since the early 90s, and the first day I met Joe, I remember it like it was yesterday because of his behavior. And his behavior hadn't changed for years. Myself and many other people that work in this industry have been trying to expose this. And people, you tell the story, you can't make this stuff, and you tell the story and people look at you like you're crazy. But now people are getting to see it for themselves, because what you're seeing is the truth. We pretty much I've always had a deal with Joe that, we just don't ditch each other because we totally had to agree to disagree. We do two totally different things. I rescue animals, he exploits animals, two totally different things. And us sanctuaries are the ones that expose these people for what they are and for the bad that they're doing to the animals. So most of the times when I would see Joe, it might be at like a courthouse when we were testifying against each other for legislation, him wanting to have the animals as pets and used for whatever, and myself there to protect the animals. Seen how his animals live. I've seen for myself, I've seen him laying on the ground panting in the heat of the summer, and the keepers worrying about not having enough water. So I have seen firsthand most all of these roadside zoos.
Are any of the rescues from his zoo or from Doc Antle's?
No, there's no, from what I know, none of the animals from here at Lions, Tigers, and Bears came from Doc Antle or Joe.
Did you know Doc as well?
Oh, I've only met Doc twice. Once at a conference and once at his place.
And how did he strike you?
He struck me as an animal exploiter because he does not like sanctuaries, and they're making money off of the cub petting, period.
That was another important thing. These tiger cubs are only cubs for a couple of weeks before they start to mature into being basically teen tigers and fully grown tigers. So their value is very short-lived in those kinds of environments.
Exactly. So maybe in the wild, a tiger might breed 18 to 30 months apart. We're in captivity. They're breeding these tigers every 110 days, and then they pull the baby before their eyes are even open, so not from person to person, and then they immediately will breed the tiger back because they continuously have to have cubs to keep their business running. So what people don't see is the new babies come in and the old babies go out. So of course, no tracking. Nobody even knows where most all these animals go. And handling the public risk, it's not only cruel, but it's a risk to the public.
Say the tiger behind you?
Nola. Nola. There's actually Nola and here together.
Who's the other one?
Mocha.
Oka.
So Mocha is the one that's coming over our border. And then he actually went to the San Diego Zoo for a little while, and they keep him, so he's here. And then Nola, hence the name Nola, she came from New Orleans. She was compensated from someone who had her illegally. Yeah.
They're great. I also want to, of course, ask you about Carol Baskin and her ability to have harnessed the power of social media. And, you know, there are some who would say that she's an advocate for big cats and rescues, and there's other who see the other side of it. How did you feel about her story?
I believe is a true advocate for cats, and I don't know Carol's past, but I do know that she is an accredited sanctuary. Worked with Carol a lot, like at conferences and actually walking the halls for the Big Cat the Act, and I have been to Carol's place, and it's a true sanctuary.
So what's next? How can people get involved and help fight for the advocacy of these animals and to help push legislation?
So the biggest way right now is the Big Cat and Public Safety Act, and just by getting your consent and letting them know that you would like to see it go through. You can contact us and we can help you with that process to know who your constituent is, depending on where you live, and help you with a form letter. So you could write a letter or you could call. Super simple.
Is there anything else that you want to add or say or take the time to talk about while I have you here?
Just whenever supporting animals, just look for the accredited sanctuaries. Come out to lions, tigers, and bears a lot, and just know your animal, know the animal that you're giving to, and know the people and know the place that you're gonna support.
Bobbie Brink, thank you so much for your time and for helping educate people on something that seems to be a national, sensational thing that we all want to watch and talk about, but you can really give true perspective on it.
Thank you. Thank you.